The Japanese or Oriental Magnolia is a lovely small flowering tree for Louisiana landscapes. It normally blooms in late January or February, but if you look at this tree right now, you'll notice there are some flowers popping out on it. Now remember, all of our spring flowering trees and shrubs have already set their flower buds for next year. Don't prune your azaleas and things like that now, for instance, because you'll take off some of the flower buds. You can see the flower buds on this Japanese magnolia very clearly, these big fat furry buds. Now because the buds are already here, it means that they may on occasion bloom out. When Hurricane Isaac blew through the state in areas where the winds were highest, these trees were defoliated, and after a hurricane, Japanese magnolias are famous for bursting into full bloom. This little tree here in Baton Rouge was somewhat affected. You can see some flowers popping out, but fortunately, it's saving a lot of its flower buds for the spring bloom. For those of you who have trees that just come into full bloom, unfortunately, enjoy the flowers now because you won't be seeing nearly as many this coming spring. Now, another issue with the Japanese magnolia is foliage quality in the late summer and fall. It is very common and typical to see scorched leaf edges, yellow leaves, spotted leaves, starting up around about July, getting worse through August, and looking pretty poorly in September. Don't worry, this is characteristic of these trees. There's no long-term health effects from this, and come spring, they'll send out lots of fresh new foliage. So the Japanese magnolia is a lovely early spring flowering tree for Louisiana landscapes. This time of the year, don't be concerned about the poor foliage quality that's so typical, and hey, enjoy those hurricane flowers that they're producing now. For Get It Growing, I'm Dan Gill with the LSU Ag Center.